Hi everyone, chances are if you're here, you're trying to figure out how do I make an app even if I have no technical experience, I don't know what I'm doing, and that's what's going on. So you're in the right place. I was you 3 years ago, and I made a presentation, and this will be a series of videos about how to build an app going from non-technical to technical or somewhere in between. So let's dive into it. This is the non-technical founder start to bootstrapping an app, and I am Kyle Cords. And this is my app. This is Omless. It is an app that is a movie recommendation app built through swiping that compares you to other users and gives you the movies that you should check out that you haven't seen from people most likely like you. So that's what the app is, but this video will not be about that. This will be about how to make something like this. And obviously, this is my app. And I want to teach you how to do all this. And episode one is going to start with the idea. We all have ideas and they're great and they're exciting to have. And it's about what do we do when we have a great idea? I think that the first thing we do is Google it. So we're going to flash back to 2013, which is crazy. It's almost a decade ago. But I had just moved to LA and I was commuting from Riverside to Los Angeles. It's like a 2 hour commute. And if you go early in the morning, it's even longer. And I just kept looking at traffic and just being like, how is there not a better way to solve this? And Google Maps was okay at that time. There wasn't Apple Maps. And I was like, why don't we have a social media app that basically has all these cars that are able to interact with each other, and we have our points that we're getting to, and then it can basically allocate that data to create the most optimized route for you. And we could like say there's a crash up here, there's all these things, and we can send in real time information to people coming from behind us. And I was like, this sounds like the best idea on the planet. I was driving all the time, and you might think that it looked like this, but it definitely didn't. It looked like this all the time. It was torture. Podcasts weren't really a thing at that point. So I was just really into this idea. And so I was like, hey, look at the big brain on me. I'm doing so good. And so I figured that how is this not an amazing idea? And how do I not know about it yet? And so, like the advice I gave to you, I went and Googled it, like the Superman I am with my great idea. So yeah, social GPS app is an amazing way to just like look for anything because a lot of people have great ideas, but they don't realize is that a lot of people have great ideas. If you ever try to get a domain, you'll realize that a lot of people have thought of the same things you've thought of, but the difference is what are you going to do about it? So you're going to look for it. I hit this 10 years ago, 15 or over 10 years ago, and I'm feeling lucky. And then it brought me to this app called Waze. And you probably have heard of Waze, but nobody had heard of Waze back then. And it was actually a brand new company from this other company in Israel that people loved. And I thought it fit all the things that I was thinking about. And if you notice, it's number two in navigation now, and it has 3 million ratings. But when I actually first saw this, it only had 3 ratings. I was one of the first users to use Waze in America, and I loved it. I got like all of the points because they had these like point things that you can get like crowns and all this stuff. I had hundreds of thousands of miles on this thing, and I don't know, it just like it fit everything that I wanted from it, and I used it forever, and it literally got me everywhere 10-20% faster than it would have otherwise. And then eventually got bought by Google, and we know that story, but some of you might feel like this kid. You might feel like, damn, I don't know what I did wrong. Like, I thought that this would be so cool. And feel bad, but don't feel bad because there might be other ways to deal with this. Um, and so the next part is you might have searched and you didn't find anything. Or, okay, well, if you searched and didn't find anything, then try to find like other reasons why or ask people around you like what they think of the idea. And another good resource to basically, I don't know, use in conjunction with what my resources are is this guy Steven Kravoda. He made this like Wordle app, but it wasn't Wordle, and then he got famous off of it. And but he breaks down in some really clear ways he says he's a web developer, but he doesn't seem to code very much anymore, but he hires and manages coders, And I think he has a great series here that is very matter of fact, very straight to the point. But I do think he glosses over a lot of nitty gritty stuff about how to deal with Apple to become an app developer on their store, how to manage code as a non technical person, how do you do version control, how do you like break through a lot of these problems and be in control of your app, like how do you handle these GitHub repositories. There's a lot of stuff as like a non technical person that you need to kind of get technical skill with. And I think he kind of tells you from a broad scope some interesting things to get through. And these are things I've also tried. Um, but this video is largely going to be about the idea. But if you wanted to check out a video, I would say how to build an app that prints. Like he kind of goes through in rapid succession, like what he did. But I'm going to be doing like much deeper dives, kind of more thoroughly through how I got through what I got through and where I'm at now with the launched app. So let's keep going. So another thing is chances are somebody has done some version of your app. Like for me, there's other apps that are sort of in a similar space, but they never did it quite like I did. They were always veering more towards a social app, but I wanted something to be about more about how do we collectively find things that we really love? And I wanted to build an app that was around an experience that felt very similar, very familiar to us, and get us to where we wanted to go faster. Because most people spend so much time trying to figure out what to watch or what to watch with their partner. And I wanted to figure out a different way to go and do it. A lot of people are trying to like basically create these bots that immediately know your taste and attention by the fact that you only watch The Office or you watch Stranger Things for 20 minutes and like I don't think that those are actually that good of metrics to determine what you like. And I think a lot of the things in general, a lot of the technology in AI is going to make us believe or just like look to AI for all of our answers. And I think it's going to remove us from our connection as humans more. And so I wanted to create an app is about us benefiting as humans from other humans and eventually figure out different categories beyond movies to source decisions faster, better, quicker in our life. And so I wanted to do that even though other places have done something similar, tangential, uh, similar or tangential to what I was doing. And so I just want to say to you that most things have been thought about, but execution is everything. And believe me, like I think there's a lot of thoughtful, amazing things that never got made because people thought that nobody would want them because they already had something else that wasn't as good. But if we see from what history is, most often you don't have to be the first to market. Actually, the first to market often aren't the things that do the best. And I will create some examples. So don't be this guy, be this guy, and realize that you could be one of these guys. And obviously, this is TikTok, Apple, and the Beatles. And the thing that's really unique about these is that none of these were first to market. Apple was not the first computer company. It was not the first smartphone company. And TikTok was not the first video content company, short form content company. There was Vine, there was other things before that. And the Beatles were not the Beatles basically came after they learned from a lot of different people about when to go to America, how to like have a sense of presence and brand identity, how to cut your teeth in these clubs in Germany and become what they are. They basically learned from all of the things that they admired that they felt like didn't do right exactly what they felt that they could do. And these things all had a special sauce because they learned from the mistakes of others. Very rarely, the first to market is the one that lasts. That's like the thing with OpenAI or any of these new AI models is that we're dealing with like the Friendsters and Facebook hasn't come around yet. Instagram has not come yet. So you might have an app idea that is the best way, the user interface, whatever you think is your unique perspective, the design, the something, the compelling effect that you're going to create for magic for your users, chances are hasn't been done yet. And so I think that if you know and you still feel like emboldened to try something and you feel like you could be one of these things, you should go for it. Another thing that you should check out is Sense Tower. So we're going to go on a field trip. So let's go over here. So Sense Trip is an amazing resource for anybody that's looking for anything. So if you're trying to figure out if your category makes money, this is a great way to do it because this breaks down Apple's analytics for these various companies. So for instance, Instagram has 10 million downloads last month, $12 million in revenue from last month from ads, is first for photo and video downloads. So, for instance, for my app, I was like looking at, okay, so like what is a movie app? And so then it brings up all these streamers, various things. Um, and you can go through each one, but I wasn't a streamer. And so I would, look through various competitions. So like for instance, if you wanted to make a new social media app, then you would look up TikTok. And so you'd go here and you would say, okay, this is a huge market. It's number one in social, not photo and video. And it has $84 million in revenue from last month, which is crazy. 23 million downloads, bananas. Like these things are just like god tiers. And you can kind of get a sense of what their profit strategy is. So a lot of this obviously operates on ads, and now they're trying to push their TikTok shop, but it doesn't seem to be making very much money for them. And so get a sense of like how your app makes money or how your idea or your competition makes money because it'll help you hugely to know if it's worthwhile enough. And let's see if there's something else in here. Top of charts. Oh, like Temu. I mean, if you're going to do e-commerce, like, this is an excellent thing to study. These are all like, really, really big muckety mucks that have just been eating up all of the, the internet for a very long time. Goblin tool. I have no idea what Goblin tool says. Let's look at this. But it's just this easy. Like you could, it's a not 199 smart tools for neurospicy. Small connections, small task tools. Okay, so it's like a brain, it's a brain teaser app. It's meant to help people with autism. And okay, so this is like an attention app. And but this one only made like less than 5K last month, and so they're only getting that from, it looks like, people buying it. And another thing that would be interesting to look at, I mean, there's so much in this, but I don't want to wander for too long because I want you to, obviously, uh, you know, get to what you need to as fast as possible. Just what I'm saying. Anything idea, are you going to have people pay for the app to get into it? Are you going to have an ad structure? Are you going to have a subscription? Those are the three main ways for people to make money, unless you're selling your users' data, which often is like, not the best, but it's whatever you're trying to think and want. And so I would suggest hugely to look through your competition or people that are in your same category, whether it's like video, social, photography, whatever. All right, so then let's get back to our presentation. Please take me back. Okay, so we're back. So another thing that is super helpful to do is literally go to those, apps that you find that are just like, in the category that you feel that you have the unique opportunity to create something extra of value, and you should read all of the reviews from their app. And so what you can do is you can just go literally into the app store. You see them all the time, and so just go into the app store and look and read through everything and find like the 2 3 star reviews, because those people are the ones that are, or maybe four. Anything that's not five or one is like they're incensed, they really hate the app, like there's often not a lot to gain from that. And then five is just like people just glowing about it, so it's not going to tell you very much. Everything in the middle kind of teaches you more about what the app is, so, and potentially what they haven't solved for their users. So when I was making Omelets, I was very conscious of what Letterbox was not doing. I was very conscious of what IMDb was not doing. I was very conscious of what these various like recommendation companies and what they are trying to provide were not doing. And so I wanted to come in with a very like simple, familiar sort of experience that got you to what you wanted faster. So that's why I wanted to make the app. And I also just I was interested. Like you should be interested in the process of this, because if you're not, you're going to encounter a lot of really hard things, and you need to be like into it to get through. So obviously I created this treasure map image here, or I just put it here, I didn't create it here. And that reading reviews honestly will get you towards feeling like I do have something that is of value, and I feel like everything that is my problem are these people's problem and they're not solving it. What It's like that thing where it's like your margin is my opportunity. The margin of dissatisfied or like lukewarm users that these people have is your opportunity. So I think seize it. And you'll realize that there's so much like treasure to be found in this process, and you can create something really incredible. And so if you've gotten through all of this, obviously this is the end of just like the idea. If you're at the end of this and you feel like you still have your idea for your community garden app, and you still feel emboldened that you can do it, and you've looked through all the research, I'd say you're in a really good spot. Most people get through this process, and you have just saved yourself so much time, so much energy, so much money, so much learning, and that you can try another app or something else. And so I think you should be really happy or emboldened at whatever point you're at right here, because you either found the app that is your solution to the thing that you want, or you're about to like go on a pretty grand adventure to figure it out. And so that's my episode one. And what I'm going to go into for episode two is where to start. So now you have your idea, you know what you're going to do. How do you start making your dream a reality? And that's all. And so I'll see you there. And I just want to say good luck. Thank you so much for checking this out. Please leave some comments and yeah, follow for more and go check out Omless if you want to see what I made. And yeah, see you in the next one.